Alright, so I'm going to start taking stuff off this engine, get off this automatic thing. I don't know what this is called. I don't know if it has a different term than the manual one. So I'm going to take off the exhaust manifold, this whole setup. I'm going to go get my engine stand from Tyler here in a little bit, and I'm going to throw this up on the engine stand and start taking it apart. Alright, as you guys saw in the time lapse, I got mostly everything pulled off here that I'll need to pull off prior to getting it up on the engine stand. I just have to go pick up my engine stand from Tyler's house because these two are full. So I just pulled off this rear coolant port. What you guys think of that? Are those spider webs or? I'm not sure what I'm even looking at in there. It's pretty gross though, if you ask me. We'll figure it out, you know what I'm saying? But this stuff's pretty gross. Pretty gross. So we'll get it up on the engine stand. We'll tear the head off. We'll get the bottom opened up, and we'll see what's going on. All right, just got back from Tyler's house. Had to go pick up my engine stand, so I'm gonna put this on there and open it up because I really want to see the inside of it. So I'm gonna get to that. I feel the need to explain real quick. If you're wondering why there's been a lack of content, generally I do upload every other day, but my computer has been running off of 3 gigs of RAM and I had no idea. I don't know if one of my RAM sticks maybe popped out when I was moving back to Florida and might just be like in my stuff somewhere, but I figured out why I've been having problems with Adobe Premiere, and that's because I only have 16 gigs of RAM in the computer, and if it takes 8 gigs to process the internals of the computer, I'm only left over with 3 or 4. So I got some RAM coming in. It should have been here today. I guess it'll be here tomorrow. We'll get that in, and then hopefully I won't have my issues with editing anymore. And then the videos can actually get a little bit better because of, because I had those issues, I couldn't put extra stuff in my video or put in the clips I necessarily wanted to or edit to the degree that I wanted to. So we'll see if it helps. Alright, got the valve covers off, about to undo the crankshaft gears, and then pop out the cams, and then get the head off. I think my camera might be dying, so I'm going to pop a battery on the charger, and make sure that we don't run out. bit ridiculous. Is that all? Nope, got another one. There's 4 bolts holding on the oil feed. Wow, that's a nightmare. All right, there we go. Look at this. That's bad. So I don't have the a small enough socket to get into the head, so I'll pull that off tomorrow. That's why I flipped it over and I pulled off the oil pan. Besides the blown head gasket, everything looks good. Oh my goodness, look at this gasket. What a nightmare. Jesus. Alright, so I let this drain out a bit. I popped off the bearing cap for this one, and I cleaned off this bearing. Thoughts? Looks pretty bad if you ask me. The crank doesn't look too bad at all, but this bearing looks like it's been through some serious business. I don't know, what do you guys think? I'm pretty sure, I'm like 90% sure this car had a blown head gasket, so I definitely have to get it machined anyways. So I guess I'll probably just have them check the crank and the clearances on it, and then see if I can run OEM bearings. So get that all checked out. But I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm gonna be done for here right now, but I'll catch up with you guys in the morning when I have the tool to get the head off. So I'm just gonna do a quick little transition and we'll be taking the head off. Alright, so I'm back at the house. I went around to a couple places today and I wasn't able to find this socket, but then I was over at Josh's house where my other 240 is, and I found the socket I needed. It fits right in there. So I am gonna take the head off the 4AGE and see how it looks, because I am really excited to see this, and I want to know if this engine blew a head gasket from warping or if it got hydro-locked from sitting outside and then being started up carelessly. So we're gonna take this off and we're gonna find out. Something happened. Holy cow. Look at this piston. Oh my goodness. How do the walls look? No scratches. I'm gonna turn this crank a little bit and examine the walls. See what exactly we're working with here. This is very interesting. All right, I got the piston pulled out. So it would appear that, oh, there goes the bearing. It would appear that it was true that they ran it out of oil. I don't know if you guys can see here, but on the lowest oil ring, you can see that it's starting to bevel into the ringland. Like if you look here, the whole ringland is warped to the shape of this piston ring, which means there's probably no oil in there. That's very interesting. Alright, so I'm on my way over to the mechanic shop where Kent's BMW is. So when we started the build, we initially planned on, when finishing it, taking to the mechanic anyways and having him look it over, because it's supposed to be a daily driver. It's going to be registered and on the road, and I've never worked on a BMW before, so you know, just to be safe, we were gonna have him look it over anyways. When I got done finishing swapping the engine, the alternator, the battery, and the starter were all toast. So we took it all over to the mechanic shop and we let him swap that stuff in. And I'm headed over there right now so I can check it out. I'm bringing Kent his serpentine belts as well. So we'll catch up with you guys when we get to the shop. What's up, G? Let's get you out of here. Let's go. He's in the middle of the road. Let's just... You're good, G. You just can't be in the road, man. Here. There you go. Put him around. Yes, sir. Yeah. The lights. Yes, sir. Alright, as you can see, I got the whole block torn down. Sorry about the Florida wind. We get this weather and with it comes a breeze. So, it is what it is. But, I've got everything off here pretty much. I've got it as clean as I can get it. It would seem that this cylinder right here is the only one that is like, this cylinder might make it so I have to get the whole entire deck board, or the whole entire block board. But there's a huge scratch right down in here on the right side where the ringland exploded, and then down here there's a huge gouge as well where the bottom of the piston would sit. So I don't know about that. And then if you come in here, you can see severe burn marks here, not quite here, but it's still there. And on the pistons you can see the corresponding burn marks, which means that coolant was not getting through the car the way it's supposed to. So I put a bunch of purple power in the coolant chambers, and I tried to chisel out all the BS I could with a screwdriver, and it would seem that I got most of it out. I flipped it over, ran the hose through it, and a bunch of nasty water came out, as you guys saw. So I'm going to take the block over to Diesel and have him check it out and have him determine whether or not he thinks a hone will do just fine, or if he thinks that it should be bored. Alright, the block's in the car. I want to take my GoPro and throw it all the way down the road because it's being the worst piece of electronic I've ever owned. And take this to Diesel. Alright, so I dropped the block off at the machine shop. They said that it definitely needs to be bored out, so it might take a month or two for that to get done. So I'm going to work on sourcing all the stuff I need besides the pistons, because I won't know what size pistons and rings I need until he's done with it. But this is the head from the block, so I'm going to spray this down with some purple power, let that soak in, start scrubbing this off, and get off as much of this gunk as I can before I get ready to take this head and drop it in my parts soak. So this head, in the area where the head gasket blew, which is right here, there doesn't seem to be any substantial warping. I haven't checked it with the straight edge and the feeler gauge yet, but this area right here, you see this whole black line around it? That's not good. That's really bad. I don't quite know what that means, but in this area right here, there's like definitely some warp. You can feel it. Like right there, which is not good at all. Although that might be part of the combustion chamber, so that might not even be that big of a deal. I'm not really. Alright, so the bottom of the other head it's really messed up over at cylinder 3, which oddly enough is one of the cylinders that didn't have any damage in it at all. I mean, all the cylinders definitely had burn marks in them, like as you can see on the piston. This is cylinder 3 right here. This actually has the least severe of the burn marks on the pistons, but for some reason, like here's cylinder 2, you see that burn mark right there? For some reason, on the cylinder head, there was a whole bunch of like, I forgot what the terminology is, but it's basically like when you have erosion or combustion at the top of your cylinder. It's an interesting thing that happens there. I'm not sure what the correct terminology for it is, but it definitely created some severe warpage on the top of that other head. But thankfully, the MR2s came with an extra head. So I have that soaking right here in my CRC parts cleaner. And I'm gonna let this sit for about an hour, and then I'm gonna flip it over, get the other side, let that soak for about an hour, and then I will clean this up. You guys probably don't wanna see me clean this up on camera, so in the next video I'll show you how clean I get it. You can kind of see here now how dirty it is. But yeah, that was pretty much the whole disassembly of the block. As I said, I got the block over at the machine shop right now. I'm not sure how long it's gonna take to get machined. It's a pretty small shop. It's a 1 or 2 man operation, so however long it takes is however long it takes. That's gonna get bored out, honed, and then they're gonna let me know what size pistons I need to get for it, and then I'll be putting the 4AGE back together and putting it into the white MR2. But depending on how long it takes for the engine to get done, this MR2 might not be white anymore. So I got plenty to do on this car. Right here, the fender's kind of messed up. I've got some dents, like there's Bondo work done right here, so I got to take all that out. On the other side, there's a couple dents here. It's not too bad. It's not too great either. This seems to be a pretty common spot for rust on the MR2s. This one has it on the same right here, but on the other side too. So I gotta kind of get that figured out so I don't keep on having issues with it. And then there's this fender hole, so I gotta get a new fender. And then I do believe there are 1 or 2 holes in the floorboard. You got a hole right here, and then there's another one like right here. So when I get this all apart and I get the carpet out, I'll have to see the severity of that and what can be done about it. But this car is definitely gonna get painted black, and I'm gonna get the engine fixed for it and get it back on the road because I'm really excited about that. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you've learned anything, make sure you hit the like button. If you've got anything to say or any questions to ask, make sure you put it in a comment down below. If you want to see more real-time updates between the uploads, you can click my Instagram down in the bio below, or you can click my Instagram down in the description below, and you can find that over there. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.